With Okada wanting to face CM Punk and Andrade teasing Ric Flair's debut in AEW, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for January 4th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With former AEW star Big Swole calling out the company for their lack of diversity, AEW President Tony Khan responded, mentioning that Swole's contract was not renewed due to a lack of wrestling ability. This brought about a ton of controversy as many AEW stars would defend Khan. Now, Powerhouse Hobbs has taken to Twitter again to defend his boss as he wrote, "Tony works hand in hand with people of color on the roster all the time about their story, ideas, input, matches, etc. Not every idea will work, but every idea is listened to and valued. My personal voice has been heard, and I've had input from many of my opportunities. As a black male, I plan on using my voice to do what I can do to make sure that this company is diverse. I'm also very aware that diversity comes in many forms: women, black, Latinx, East Asian, South Asian, Southeast Asian, LGBTQ+, and more. The more diversity, equity, and inclusion we can build in wrestling, the more fans we can engage with, and the more fun we can all have together. AEW is a young company led by people of color heading in the right direction. I'm proud to be a part of that momentum, and I know my colleagues stand beside me when I say that." Play-by-play commentator for Raw, Jimmy Smith, came into the world of pro wrestling after a career calling MMA. Speaking on the Throwing Down podcast, Smith talked about what it's like to work for Vince McMahon. "The weird part is when it comes to MMA, it's not a show. I'm calling an event, and the event and the show are two different things. I know that's hard to understand. I'm sitting there and two people are fighting. When they start, when they end, and now they fight have nothing to do with me. If they get there, they lay an egg, and they suck, it's not really my problem. Or if they have a banger, I'm kind of along for the ride. But the show and the fight are separate things. On Raw, they're all together, so I'm part of the show and the show is a part of me, and I'm part of making that show. Me and Vince McMahon go to the production meeting before every show. We talk about what's going on, what the thought process is behind everything, and what the psychology is behind everything. That meeting lays out how the show is supposed to go. Here's what we're thinking and all that stuff. After that, once I'm on air, generally I'm allowed to just completely do whatever I need to do. If there's something he needs to jump in and say, he does it, but it's pretty much the meetings before the show that is when the vast majority of the interactions happen in that meeting." After stepping into a WWE ring 30 years ago, Scotty Hotty would work most recently as a trainer and coach for the company before requesting his release in November. Talking about the mass releases the company has seen, Scott told Chris Van Vliet that this took a toll on him. "It was over the last couple months. Once the pandemic happened and all the releases started happening, I think the releases took a big toll on me. When I became a coach, I had no idea how much I would have loved that job. And those guys are then like your children. You create these relationships with people, and you see them get released, and you find out with everyone else when they come up on Twitter. My buddy in Nashville texted me, 'Oh, the releases are happening again.' So then I jump on Twitter and I see somebody released that was in my class, and I just saw them 3 hours before. That's how I am finding out. And dude, this is not cool." No, towards the end they started doing a group text when they let people go. That was one of my beefs when I left. I don't want to know when talents are getting released before they do, but once it's done, can't you send something out to, have an intern who was sitting beside the person doing the cut send a text to their coach and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know this person's been released." Me and some of the other coaches had talent texting us saying, "Hey, thanks for everything," and we respond with, "Hey, no problem. It's great having you in class." And we think they were talking about being in class today, but nope, they've just got cut. There were just so many releases, and I wasn't having fun, and I saw people outside that appeared to be having fun. Speaking on Fight and Focus, AEW TNT champion and EVP for the company Cody Rhodes talked about the talent present in the promotion, admitting there are egos and conflict backstage. It's also wonderful to see. Tony, I think, calls them the new face of AEW, kind of a new generation. He talks about these new free agents, which is a wonderful dichotomy from the OGs, from the original, and that also creates great wrestling and great stories to mix and match those characters and dip those toes into different sets of water. I imagine it will be our big biggest and most successful year yet. And I hope fans don't take that as me being arrogant or anything of that nature. We continue to grow for 3 years, and I don't see us stopping, because we love it too much. We genuinely do. If you come backstage at AEW, there is no place like it. It has its own egos and problems, people not liking each other, but for the most part, that's the most team effort place that I have been part of in my life. At the Day 1 pay-per-view, Big E was expected to walk out of the event with his WWE title, but Roman Reigns would announce he was COVID positive, which led to Brock Lesnar being added to and winning the match as he pinned Big E to win the belt. WWE and Fox would post a graphic which all but confirms fans' theories that Big E was originally set to win the Fatal 4-Way before Lesnar was added. On Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray mentioned how angry he was with WWE for disrespecting Big E. That is something that really pissed me off when I saw it. I do understand that Brock Lesnar is the biggest star in that match, and maybe Lesnar is the biggest star in WWE right now. This is the man who defeated The Undertaker into the streak, a 5-time, up until the other night, world champion. A guy who does what he wants, when he wants, but he was not your WWE champion. Big E was. If we know that Brock is going to win the championship, and he will get to have his moment, he will have his crowning moment at the end of the show, why would you have Big E come out fourth? Why would you have Brock come out last? There is absolutely zero reason. Zero. Now, with Big E unable to qualify for the WWE title match for the Royal Rumble on Raw, it looks as if the company is gearing up for a dream bout between Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Speaking to PW Insider, Cody Rhodes talked about being booed by fans as he admitted he finds them jarring since he used to be a fan favorite. I'm always of the idea that you can't judge your audience. They pay their money and can do whatever they would like. That's one of the most beautiful things about it. We don't have to turn down the boos or turn up the cheers. We have to let it be. It can be jarring. I'll be frank. It can be jarring to go from this wrestling messiah in the first year and doing no wrong to now 3 years in and people want to see you lose. With fans waiting to see if Rhodes will turn heel, he is set to defend his title against Sammy Guevara at the Battle of the Belts on Saturday. In an interview with Metro, the New Day talked about turning heel, as they reveal their reason why. Xavier Woods said, "Yeah, 100%, I'm a horrible person. It's just super fun to scream at little kids, because when we were heels before, our stuff would see kids getting legitimately mad and upset at us. It's just so much fun to be snarky, to be rude and disliked. It's great being cheered, people pulling for us and being the good guys. Both sides are really fun to play, but I wouldn't be mad at it at all. We love that. We talk about it all the time." Big E would add, "Honestly, we have wanted that the entire time. We've always wanted to turn heel. It's just so much fun. What I'm doing in the ring dovetails so well into all the things I want to do outside of the ring as far as just charitable work. Just telling my story with my issues with depression and mental health. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense right now. The beautiful thing is our returns kind of happen organically, in the sense that we try to be baby faces right out of the gate. People were not having that, so we became heels. And then we just got cheered for so long, so eventually we had to turn. My feeling is, if we do turn, it feels organic and it feels natural again. Unfortunately, we're in a position right now where our reactions are pretty damn good, so I don't see that happening anytime soon, but who knows. After Andrade's match at Triple Mania where the Nature Boy was in his corner, many were under the impression that we'd see Ric Flair make his way to AEW. Following the plane ride from hell controversy, that talk died down. Now Andrade has taken to Twitter to tease Flair making his AEW debut as he wrote, "Hello, Kid Darby Allin, nice to meet you, Sir Sting. Remember, I have many friends in the business, but just one father-in-law." With Bryan Danielson a part of AEW, he's had some incredible matches for the promotion, especially his world title bout against Hangman Page. On his podcast, Jeff Jarrett was asked which AEW star he'd have a great feud with, as he responded saying this about Danielson: "In my opinion, he's the best in the world. What a storyteller. He is on a completely different level. He is on a completely different level, I believe, than just about anybody." Tomorrow night on the debut episode for Dynamite on TBS, Danielson will get his rematch for the AEW title when he faces Hangman Page. Talking to Sports Illustrated, New Japan star Okada touched on the forbidden door between AEW and New Japan, making it clear that he is hoping for matches with CM Punk and Bryan Danielson before it's too late. Danielson and Punk would make for some incredible matches. A lot of those dream match scenarios are about getting excited for the possibilities, so it is important to keep that excitement and anticipation, I think. Still, if we wait too long, they'll both retire eventually, so I want to face them both while they're still active. Bron Breakker has become a breakout star in NXT as many see big things in the future for the son of Rick Steiner. Speaking about his father and uncle, Bron told the Sporting News that he would like the Steiner Brothers to be involved in his career. I have. It would be great for both of them to be a part of my career at some point. Who knows? I have no idea, but it would be a cool moment for me because neither of them have seen me wrestle in person. They've watched it on TV. Maybe down the line they can be a part of something with me. I don't know. With Malakai Black set to take on Pillman Jr. on Dynamite, Bryan has posted a video to Twitter showing off his training for Black as he wrote, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. See you Wednesdays, spooky boy." Black would reply, "Yeah, always good to show me what you're working on. Definitely not a dumb idea. Also, ducking the heel kick, genius." While Jeff Hardy would end up released from WWE, Fightful noted that there were plans for him to go down to NXT. As they reported, Jeff Hardy was originally planned to be the shaman for MSK. Just days before the reveal was to happen, Hardy was released by the company, and Matt Riddle had to rush to film content with MSK to make it work. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.